that on the day of Ashura, in the history of this world, that is the day of forgiveness. That is the day of blessing. Listen first. We're going to translate later, inshallah. Okay? That this is the day of forgiveness. This is the day of blessing. But why on the day of Ashura that we have the martyrdom, the shahadat of Hazrat Hussein? How is Allah showing His mercy? I just ask you, what is the opposite of mercy? Rahmat. What is it? La'nat. It is the curse. Did we, now I'm saying we, because now we are not pulling ourselves away from those ones who are there too. We are never going to say, as believers, that we are better than those ones. We cannot. Those ones were tabi'ins. They saw the Sahabe Kiram. They're just one generation removed from the Holy Prophet ﷺ. They were seeing Hazrat Hussein, the grandson of the Prophet ﷺ. They were being with him. They loved him. And those ones were seeing the Sahabe Kiram who saw the Prophet ﷺ. Just like new murids coming, and they're seeing those ones who saw Shaykh Effendi. It's just a few years had passed. So if someone says that we are better than those ones, I'm saying check your faith again. Not only you have arrogance, but you're only fooling yourself. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us examples all throughout history of what the earlier ummats do. Not for us to say that we are better than them, but for us to take lesson from them. Because the characteristics of the nafs, the characteristics of evil, of betrayal, it is in everyone in every age. And if we don't take lesson, we will become a lesson. So on that day, something happened. A big betrayal happened. A betrayal that happened to the beloved of the Prophet ﷺ, to the princess of paradise. Is that not enough for Allah not to fall to this nation until Qiyamah? There is. Did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala curse His nation because of that? No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not curse His nation. He did not curse. What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what is He showing us with this? He is showing us mercy. But deeper, what is He showing us? That there is always tyranny. There is always oppression. And the duty of the person who is standing on the way of haqq is to stand up for oppression one way or another. Don't think now Hazrat Hussein went to challenge Yazid. He did not. His sunnat is the sunnat of his grandfather, ﷺ. It is first to make hijrah. To make hijrah and to leave. So now, on that day of Karbala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing that any effort for truth to stand up, there must be some sacrifice. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing that that sacrifice, is Allah not watching Karbala? He is. Is He not able to stop? If you say He's not able to stop, then we already make a shirk. Is Holy Prophet ﷺ not watching? He is. They're letting all these events to happen to teach us, to teach mankind, not just Muslims, until Judgment Day, to teach mankind the nature of people, the nature of human beings, the nature of those who call themselves Muslims, the nature of those who call themselves believers. And to check that and to check ourselves and to weigh ourselves and to say where we are in this, so that we are not going to say we are better. We are not going to say if we are put in that situation, definitely we are going to be those ones who are fighting against the truth. Because if you are not watching yourself, if you're not knowing yourself, That time, your ego can completely trick you at that time. Going to give you some reason, some excuse. Those ones, at the very last minute, they still say, no, we are going to stand up for you, Ya Hussein. But they have excuse. There's so many of them thinking that they're going to go to join Yazid. They're going to save their lives, save their children. Isn't that very important? Isn't that what they're teaching us these days? The most important thing is your family. Correct? The most important thing, most holy thing, most valuable thing, it is your family. Those ones, you didn't think the same way, that they're saving their families? Going to Yazid's side, but did they find safety? No, they were all finished. Yazid is saying, you betray the grandson of the Prophet ﷺ. Definitely you're going to betray me. Finish them. You think that time, what did they win? Dunya or Akhirat? None. They didn't. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not just showing those ones who betray for us to take lesson. He's also showing how Hazrat Hussein is behaving in this situation. And his family, they are behaving in that situation. They are standing up and they are sacrificing. Did he ask for revenge? Did he say, did he blame, did he curse them? He didn't. Hazrat Hussein could have cursed them. Did he curse? Because it is not in the nature of the prophets and the Zuriyat to curse. It is not. They are always praying. Awliya Allah, they are saying on Judgment Day, Hazrat Fatima is going to come with a cup filled with the blood of Hazrat Hussein, demanding for justice. And the Holy Prophet ﷺ will say, Ya Fatima, today is not the day for justice. Today is the day for intercession. This is the characteristic of a believer. We put that aside somewhat. Karbala happened 1400 years ago. Did it? Or is Karbala still continually happening? Karbala is still happening. There is still a small group of believers who are running away from tyranny and they are being sacrificed. There is still oppression. What are you doing now to stand up to the oppression? Same people who are saying, beating themselves up until the blood comes out, crying for Hazrat Hussein, cursing Hazrat companions of the prophets. They are cursing the companions of the Prophet for not standing up to Hazrat Hussein, cursing Hazrat Muawiyah, and cursing to Yazid, cursing to everyone. Those same ones, are they standing up against the tyranny that is happening today? No. Those same ones, their governments and their regimes, who is based on the principles of that religion that they say this is Islam, belonging to the love of Hazrat Ali, they are together with those ones who have been known to be open enemies to Islam, killing and destroying the Muslims for hundreds of years. So this is when the truth becomes a ritual. The truth, it becomes a habit, a ritual with no meaning, when you don't make that connection. When you don't say that whatever happened, it is still happening in a different way. What is this? And we should do something. The same way they do it, we should do something too. We should try to do something. This is when it becomes a ritual. And the prophets, they came to take something and to make that connection to the people so the people can connect. When there is no guide, when there is no connection, then you're going to see Ashura, Karbala. It's just a ritual you're going through. Something happened 1400, but you're not seeing Karbala is still happening. Today, there are thousands of people who are bleeding and who are dying. Their lives are being killed. Ironically, in some parts of the world, by the same ones who claim that they love Hazrat Ali and Hazrat Hussein. So don't you think, by the betrayal that had happened 1400 years ago, we deserve the punishment of Allah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not punishing? Why do you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not punishing? Because the Holy Prophet ﷺ is not asking for it. Because Hazrat Hussein himself is not asking for it. So we take all these events in this history as a lesson, not to say it happened and to hate those ones. We miss the lesson when we say that those ones who betray. You miss the lesson when you don't see those ones as yourselves, as you having that quality that is inside of you. There's not only Karbala that happened. Right? There are so many times in history that has been happening where there is complete betrayal to their prophets, to the families of the prophets, to the Muslims. There are other events, very big events that happen too. Now, if we are just going to take one event and politicize it, and to make that to define us, then it is off balance. The love that you show to someone is not based on the hate that you show to his enemies. It is not. The love that you show to someone is not based on the hate of his enemies. The love that you show to someone, it is based on the hatred of those qualities of his enemies that you see in yourself that you're trying to get rid of. That is when that sacrifice becomes real. You start sacrificing yourself. You start sacrificing that instinct to fly, to run, to flee, to betray, to say this doesn't concern me. And it is still happening every day. So many people, they are in this way also, because it's not balanced. The world is off balance. It's off balance. And to try to find balance, they decide to make their own balance instead of looking to see what the prophets did left. So in making their own balance, the world becomes even more off balance. So now we have people who are going to celebrate the day of Ashura, but they're not doing it the way that the Ahl Sunnah are doing it. They're doing it the way that those ones who hate the Ahl Sunnah way. You understand what it means to hate Ahl Sunnah? It means to hate the traditions of the Prophet ﷺ. So you're copying, what benefit are you going to get? We have our own traditions. It is not in the tradition of the Prophet ﷺ to curse and to hate. It is not. If it is to curse and to hate, the way that these ones are saying, we love Hussein and we hate Yazid, curse to him, they're cursing even to Hazrat Umar. They're cursing to Hazrat Abu Bakr, Hazrat Osman. They're cursing, oh, very good, to Hazrat Aisha. You say, where is the tradition of the Prophet where he's cursing like this? So who is following him more properly? If it is in the tradition to hate and to curse and to look at one event where the unbelievers did something to us, or those of our enemies did something to us, and to always remember what they did to us, to remember that anger and that hatred, every year we're going to celebrate or remember Badr and Uhud, especially Uhud, and some of the wars that we didn't do too good in, or the massacre that Genghis and his grandsons, they did on the Muslims, Or every day we're just going to sit being busy with cursing Abu Jahil and Abu Lahab and all the enemies of Islam. We're not busy with that. Don't forget that even Abu Jahil and Abu Lahab, the Prophet ﷺ, he did not hate them. They are his uncles. And he went to them hundreds of times to try to bring them to the way of Allah. So what is this tradition of hate? It's definitely not the Ahl Sunnah way. To understand that something is wrong, to hate that quality, yes. But once we say that quality, that person, it is not us, then you're wrong. Once you say that quality and that person is us, you identify. Now we have to look into our lives, take that as an example, that time you win. Otherwise, shaitan will always confuse you. And that time, with that self-righteousness, you think you're better than others, you're going to go out and no problem for you to finish them and to kill them. So, we should pray more for shukr and for tawbah on the day of Ashura. Because certainly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgave this nation and showed rahmah to this nation. May Allah forgive us, inshallah. May we not be included in these times to be called those ones who are supporting Yazid. Not to be those ones who are supporting tyrants and oppressors, but to be those ones, especially in these days, who are making the hijrah to live our religion correctly and simply, not to get confused, inshallah. Ameen. Because so many ones, especially so many these days, everyone speaks very nice. Their words are dripping with honey. I'm looking, dripping with honey, so sweet. They speak about love, speak about unconditional love, speak about Hazrat Hussein and all these matters so sweetly. But we're seeing you are sitting with the modern day Yazids. You're getting fed by the modern day Yazids. You are in the system of the modern day Yazids. You are not standing up to the modern day Yazids. Your words are poison. That's why the modern day Husseinis, they run away. They don't get themselves too much involved. They know because right now, there are Yazids everywhere. Especially those ones who are holding power. There are Firauns everywhere. There are Nemruds everywhere. They run to somewhere to keep quiet and to wait for Sahibu Zaman to come, which was Hazrat Hussein and his family's intention. Wa min Allahu tawfiq al-Fatiha. Assalamu alaikum.